made a bunch of these chessboards, but this time I wanted to make this one with a brass inlay. I've got a piece of 1/4 inch square brass rod. What I needed to do was to make a 45-degree angle so I could do the miter joints that go in with the wooden miter joints on the chessboard. In order to do that, what I started to do with a square rod is with a protractor, I tried to mark these to a 45-degree angle, and or you can use the supplemental angle of 135 degrees to come up with that 45 degrees. Let's do the initial cutoff, and in order to do that, I'm using a rotozip with a metal cutoff blade. You could probably work with an angle grinder, maybe even a skill saw, but the metal cutoff blade is really the important part. So I've got this table on the disc sander set to 45 degrees. And I'm going to take the brass rod. And just touch it off. And I don't know if you can see the angle on that, but that's actually as close to a 45 degree as you're going to get. This is the last piece of the border that will fit here. And in order to do this, I'm going to actually glue this brass rod into the last piece of the border. I've routed this out with a 1/4 inch straight router bit down to just slightly more than a 1/4 inch because I want to leave a little bit of room here so I can sand it down. You can actually sand both the wood and the brass to polish it up. I'm not gonna do this, but what I've been using is CA, the cyanoacrylate, which is basically a super glue. The caution here is you've got to work fast, and it seems to work really well. I generally rough this up with some emery cloth, either medium or coarse grit emery cloth, and then you've got roughly 5 to 7 seconds. You can see this is a little bit long. I still got to work on it. You got roughly 5 to 7 seconds once you put the glue, the bead of glue here and here, to set this in place and clamp it off. I'm just using a right angle. And that will set in about 30 seconds. You're not going to be able to get that off. And that's how I did the other 3 pieces. So that's basically it. I wanted to show you how I did the miter angle on the brass. This is really going to be a cool look. I actually am going to finish polishing this brass with the stuff I use to make my pens, which is a micro mesh polishing pad. This one goes up from 1500 all the way up to 12,000 grit. I've done some of this with a 1500 grit, and it looks like it really works fine. It will oxidize over time, so you want to do this just before you're ready to put the final coating on it. And that's about it. I hope this is helpful. Give it a shot. Thanks.